Alright, so we're outside now and gonna take the Escalade today since my Challenger is not done yet. See you guys in a bit. Alright, so Canadian Tire, where I brought my car into fix, they called me and they said Shaniqua is ready. Sorry for this weird angle of video. It's because I have a one of those sticky things you put on the dashboard and you put your phone in it, but it doesn't seem to really allow me to push it down anymore, so this is the lowest I can have it. So they said Shaniqua's done and I'm about to go pick her up, so we will see how much the total cost is and what the issue was. And I got the 1-day insurance right here because I'm literally just gonna go pick her up and then store her away in a storage yard. So that's it. Keep y'all updated. So right now I'm just waiting for my Lyft driver. I called the Lyft so I don't have to drive the Escalade or my other cars there and figure out how to get it back. So just waiting for my Lyft driver. Alright, I think he's about to show up. According to the Lyft thing. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I got Shaniqua back. And it doesn't seem to be leaking anymore. But when I popped the hood earlier today, like this thing was just sitting right there. Like it popped off. So this is the air induction air cleaner. And it shouldn't pop, like sometimes it comes off if there's vibration from the engine, but it shouldn't come off that easily. So I haven't touched, like I have my screwdriver and everything to try to reattach this. But what I noticed was like, this is how they left it at Canadian Tire. Like you see all this play right here, there's slack right there. Like this thing was loose as fuck. This is looser than your mom. Like what the fuck? So what happens is you wrap this little metal thing and you really have to tighten it. You have to get all the slack out of there. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna take this thing out. Okay, so I moved Shaniqua out, and I'm just gonna tighten a bunch of shit up in here. But it doesn't look like there's any new leaks or anything. So the power steering fluid is still in there. So it looks good. All this is kind of from last time. Okay, so we tightened everything up. So it was this part that was loose before. So you see this part right here? The more it comes down this way, the tighter it is. And it was super loose. And all this other shit right here was loose too. So I just tightened all that stuff up too. And over here as well. Like earlier when I was, my hands are really dirty. When I was pulling on this, like shaking it, it was very shaky. So I'm very lucky I didn't drive this thing with all this crap just loose. Okay, so Shaniqua is on right now. I don't know if you can hear. There's like a whine to it. So there's a whine to it because when my power steering fluid ran dry, I still drove her and I damaged it basically. It'll still drive just fine. There's no issues with it, but it's gonna have this kind of weird sound to it for a little while. Once the car gets going and you're turning the wheel and whatnot, it's completely fine. But so I'm just gonna demonstrate to you what the sound sounds like when you can hear it like when I do this. So that's so you can definitely hear like a little whine to it, but that's because I damaged it. And other than that, it's fine. So there's a check engine light because of my dumper exhaust system I have in the car. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just always there. Alright, so Shaniqua's back now, and I seem to have all the issues worked out. So now I'm just going to show you guys how much it costs to fix the power steering pump, and where I brought it to, and parts and labor. So here are both of the receipts, and you're probably wondering how come I have 2 receipts. It's because, so I brought this to a place called Canadian Tire, and well, of course it's Canadian, so you guys in the US will not have it, but it's a generally pretty big chain where people go to either fix cars or buy parts. I bought bought parts from there before, but I've never brought in a car to fix for any problems. And the first time they had charged me, so I'm in Canada, so these are going to be in Canadian dollars. I'm going to try my best to convert this for you guys. First time they charged me $585. So I paid it, and then when I went back to look at the receipt, they actually charged me for something that they should not have, which is the inspection fee, which is right here, $55. And the reason you don't pay the inspection fee is because if you bring a car in to a mechanic or a dealership, they make you sign something that says you will pay the inspection fee if they inspect it and you do not get any work done from them. But if you bring the car in, they inspect it and you have them do the work, they do not charge you this fee. So for all of you other people out there that don't know this, just know that you do not pay this fee if the place you brought it to is in fact working on your car. And before I had paid this, I called them for the total, and I had confirmed that the inspection fee is not going to be on the invoice. And when I brought the car in the first place, when they made me sign the thing that said there's going to be an inspection fee, I was very clear to ask, is that fee waived if they do the work? They said yes, they do not charge that fee. And lo and behold, when they invoiced me, they threw that in there. You can't really blame them for trying, because I think a lot of people would not call them out on this. So anyway, and prior to this, I should also mention when I was in the waiting area. So the issue with Shaniqua right there, as I mentioned before, is the power steering pump. They were trying to get me to buy a new hose and some other hoopla bullshit. So I just called them out on it, and I told them like, well, all the other parts you're all trying to make me buy is actually still good. And then they kind of backtracked, and then the person I was talking to said they had to speak to the manager. And anyways, it was just a pump that I needed. So that was the first taste of sourness to me. And then this was the second thing, is the inspection fee. I brought it back. Like, I didn't even leave the store. I just spoke to the manager. I said, you guys threw this in. You gotta take it off. They said, oh, okay, we're so sorry. The person you dealt with was new, and they accidentally threw that in. Yeah, right. But anyways, so this was the refunded portion. So they refunded me for it. And then this is the new invoice. So it's $523 parts and labor. So if I convert this Canadian amount to USD, it's, I would say, like maybe $360 or $370 or so, something like that. The US dollar is pretty high right now compared to us, and you can see the parts and labor and all that stuff. I could have gotten the part a lot cheaper than $209 online on eBay. So 209 equals to like maybe $100 or under $100. Wait, no, sorry. Maybe like 130 or so. I don't know. But so this is 209, but I could have gotten it online for like $130 Canadian. So you would have saved some money. But I didn't have a choice, because with no power steering pump, you cannot really wait. You don't want to wait, because it's gonna damage everything even more. And I have damaged it because I still drove it. Although I put the fluid I showed you guys earlier in my other videos, I put it in, drove it for a block, checked it because it was leaking profusely. Like, it was blowing and spraying shit out everywhere. So I put it back in, and then I drove a total of maybe like 4 blocks. And yeah, I mean, it's working fine. It's gonna have a little bit of weird sound, which I showed you guys. But yeah, so that's the total price, in case you guys were wondering. So this was just for the power steering pump that they replaced. And then labor charges, like you could probably get it cheaper elsewhere. But the reason I went to Canadian Tire is because it was the closest thing. And I didn't want to damage my car anymore. I didn't want to drive it too far. And it was easy to pick up because it was only like a $3 Lyft ride when I ordered my Lyft. So it was very close. Yeah, so this is the receipt for that. So yeah, so my overall experience with Canadian Tire has not really been a very positive one, simply because they were trying to sell me shit that I didn't need. They double charged me. Well, they didn't double charge me, but they charged me the inspection fee when I had damn well made sure that that was going to be waived. And then also right after they fixed Shaniqua, I popped the hood to see what they did, and the steering fluid was empty. Like, it was empty, so I brought it back and they apologized and they filled it up, but it took like half an hour for them to like walk out to dump some fucking fluid in. I don't know why. And also they kind of still like messed or fucked up some shit, because I like I showed you earlier, they didn't tighten so to get to the what they needed to fix, like the pump, they had to probably disassemble like the air intake system, and there's a bunch of stuff like you do have to take out, but when they put it back in, they either didn't tighten it all the way, or they didn't put it back in properly, because the air intake system, like that little filter thing like I showed you before, it just completely came off. Like I don't think they screwed it in tight enough. And then the hose, the hose that connects that to the engine, I checked that too, and it was loose as well, so I had to tighten that as well. And I just feel like if I was a normal person and I wasn't OCD like that, like you'd be driving around with a pretty fucked up car and probably have to bring it back in, and maybe that's what they're trying to get you to do, because if you fuck some shit up and you bring it back in, they will probably tell you, well, it's not what they just fixed, it's something else. Well, of course it's something else. You guys didn't even put shit back together. Okay, something else that was really important that I forgot to mention as well is when I brought Shaniqua in, I had also requested that. So in Shaniqua, the defroster is not working and the heat is not working. And I told them that since it's here already, can you guys please take a look at that? Because I want that fixed as well. And they didn't do it. I mean, I confirmed with them. Like I was there in person. I didn't do this on the phone. I was there. I said the defroster's not working, the heat isn't working, the fan isn't working, that center console part is not working. So please take a look at that. I want that fixed. And they didn't do it. They didn't even check it. Like when after I paid my bill, I was like, oh yeah, I asked you guys to do this. Like, did you look at it? And the manager just looked at me like, no one told us. So, like, what the fuck? Like, I brought it in and, like, I wanted that fixed since it was already in the shop. But, yeah. So, just in case if you guys are wondering, this is the Surrey location on 120 Street, Canadian Tire. Do not go there unless you absolutely fucking have to. Go somewhere else if you can. That's about it. And on my next video, it's been a car issue filled month. On my next video, I'm going to be talking about the Escalade. Peace.